Don't tell anyone. Yellow elevator didn't go all the yeah, I know.
Okay, let's go grab seats.
Potato.
Notice how the politician.
I love this doing this. Right here. Of course you do. Yeah. You look great. You don't look like you're in any pain, are you?
I understand. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, you don't. Welcome everybody. Today is the first meeting of the new year. Oh, I'm at
That's it. Last time. You just came out very close.
So I like being with
Okay.
Please rise, everybody. Welcome to our first club meeting. You get me today as your surprise president. That called popular demand, I think?
Yeah.
I don't think the president's like closing out or starting their year. I'm not sure. But we're gonna try to make this fun today. So, can I get Shay? Can you do the Pledge of Allegiance today, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wendy, can I have you do the four-way pact, please?
Sure. Four-way pact in the way I interact with others. First.
I shall uphold truth. I will be defending the way I tell it. I will be fair and not seek selfish advantage. I will have an open heart and an open mind.
Can I get Michael Erickson to please come up and do
Sure.
the invocation?
So, for the newer members, our club was founded in 1969 by a Jewish orthodontist, a Catholic car dealer, and a Lutheran minister.
Yeah.
So the Lutheran minister,
Beginning of a joke.
Yeah, I know.
the Lutheran minister would normally do the invocation, but his backup was Uncle Joe Lesniak, our Catholic auditor. And he always used the same one. So in honor of our founding members, and particularly Uncle Joe, bow your heads. Lord, bless the food we're about to receive, bless Rotary International in this particular club, our officers, our members, our directors and guests. And may we continue to raise the funds for those who are in need.
Amen. Nice job, guys.
Thank you, thank you. Please be seated, please be seated. I hope everyone had an amazing holiday with your family and friends. Do we have any guests out there? Okay, I know that we have guests at like every table today that want to sign up and become members, right? We do, because we're a very friendly club and you guys are dying to be part of it.
Yes.
All right, if we have any guests at the table, let's please announce. Eileen, would you please introduce our guests today?
Hello, Rotarians.
Hello, Eileen.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce one of our guests today and our speaker, State Representative Michelle Mussman.
Okay, I would like to go around the room and see if we have any other guests in the room today. Alan, I see a guest at the table.
Sorry, please. We're going to honor to introduce Williams, who's here to check us out and see if we're good enough for her to join our club.
Do we have any other guests out there today? Okay, let's jump right into club business and announcements. Do we have any announcements today? Come on up.
One of my favorite days. Can anybody see? Michelle, what does that say?
Harvard College Educational Foundation, $50,000.
Okay, this is for the year 25-26 for our fishing world students. And on the 15th of July, Mary, Gillette, and Diane are going to be interviewing 18 students. So we'll have about 14 or 15 enrolled this year. And I'm happy to tell you that my mentee from last year, Marisol Santiago, is now a nurse in the orthopedic department at Alexia.
All right, announcement from Community Service Committee. Just a reminder that next Saturday is the CAC Garden Cleanup. So if you could sign up on the website or let Eileen know if you're going to be there, that would be great. We also have the roadside cleanup on July 26th, and Jeff Stoner will be running that. There's sign up for that. He'll be here next week to remind you. And also for those of you who volunteer and are in need of a shirt like this, woo! Please let Eileen know. I think that we've got some people that might need a replacement, like Jack, who's worn his so much he's worn it out. Or for those that are volunteering that don't have this shirt yet, let Eileen know today, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing today?
Good.
Yeah, like the start of a comedy routine or something, right? Yeah, that's what I'm ready to do. I am the, as you guys know, the treasurer of the foundation, our foundation, and I got a great but sort of weird check that came in the mail a couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted to run it by you guys and have somebody say, "Oh yeah, I know what that is," or "I don't know what that is." A couple of weeks ago, I got a check from the National Philanthropic Trust for $5,000 made out to the Rotary Club of Schaumburg Hoffman Estates Charitable Foundation. And in the note field of that check, it said grant purpose as stated in the attached letter. That attached letter, this is why I'm asking you, doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything about what it says. We're very pleased. It says from Bank of America, we're very pleased to present the enclosed check for full payment of this grant, which we have awarded your organization. Go ahead.
My brother.
The toolkit.
Oh, nice.
All right, it's signed by Holly Welch Stubing. Is that a pseudonym?
She's an executive.
She's an executive there. Okay, interesting. So you think it is due to that? Because if there's anything that you can provide us that might substantiate that, we can earmark it for that particular purpose. But if not, what we're gonna do is put it into unrestricted donations to our foundation. If anyone has a good reason or something to be able to substantiate that, I'm happy to restrict it as such. Does that make sense to everyone? And you have 72 hours to do that. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, guys. If you have anything to help, let me know.
I love it. Nice surprise.
And Wes, those, that restricted funds thing, it's spelled CLASSIC. Alright.
Compliments to Diane and Jean.
Exactly. No, that's fine. The last one. As you might know, I run the Rotary Means Business for the Northwest Suburbs. It's the third Tuesday of every month. That's this coming Tuesday, but that's not why I'm up here. The Rotary Means Business Conference is next weekend. You might have gotten an email from me right before the holiday. It might have got messed up with other things. But that conference will be at Rotary International with lots of wonderful presenters and great business networking. So rmbchicagoland.com is the website where you can sign up and go to that outstanding conference.
I've shared it to my Facebook page, so if anyone wants to look for that sheet, you can just look on my Facebook page and it's there, or email me and I'll get it.
Hello, friendly club.
Hello.
Hello, past president.
On behalf of the Glen Sure Got Home for Wayward Golfers, I would like to say I believe that check was for that foundation. I didn't realize this, but when I gave the Rotarian of the Year award, there's a traveling trophy. And so I have attached Ellen Gabe's name to it. Yes, I put Holly Pass name on it as well. But I will not be presenting it to Mr. Ellen Gabe.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
Got it.
Linda's in charge. Somebody.
Thanks, public image is
Please,
lacking.
please show Holly her name is wrong. I know she trusts but verifies. Trust but verify.
Bring the trophy to say Rotarian every year for you. There you go.
And baby smile? Are you gonna say? I mean, I'm so happy to be the Rotarian of
You
the
had
year.
so much fun doing it.
What?
I can take it home, Ellen.
It's not a gold jacket, Alan, but.
Thank you, Roger.
We should have a gold
You have to
jacket.
Now when I go, I bring
drink beer out of it. I actually.
All right, hello,
did.
everyone. I'm Shay. Glad to see everyone again. I just wanted to come up and talk really quick about our vacation raffle. Got the baton passed to me from my amazing friend Holly. Okay. We are gonna have fun with it this year. Each week, we're gonna recognize just whoever sold the most tickets so far. Most tickets sold that week, just to make it fun. I'm gonna get a little prize for the end for the top ticket seller, and there might be a little something there for the person who sells the winning ticket too.
Oh,
So lots of little incentives to sell. All right, I'm picking up the tickets actually next week, so I will hopefully have them next week. I will not be here next Friday. I'm seeing my nieces for the first time in months. But I will get them out to everybody, hoping everyone can take 10 tickets to sell, and then we'll go from there. Just as a nice starting point, I got about 2,500 tickets this year. Everything's the same on the tickets. Just pick the date in October, right around the same time for the drawing as well. But we want to get a head start on it this year, so we have a lot more time to sell. So I will have more information next week with the tickets.
I just sold my first ticket to Michelle.
Oh.
Good job, Michelle.
Hello, friendly club.
So Alan, I think that trophy is like the Stanley Cup. You get the ticket for a day, so we want to see pictures of you with the trophy at the beach.
Hold it above your head.
You should have received an email last week
Jean sent out, we've decided for our July fellowship that we will pitch in and help local Rotary in Elk Grove Village with their Rotary Days. And volunteer for a couple hour shift and then either prior to or after hit the beer. So. I did that.
There's a sign up sheet on your tables. It's 7:30 to 9:30 would be the volunteer times. And they have fireworks afterwards and all kinds of festivities beforehand.
So please sign up so that we can help our fellow Rotarian. Thank you.
Yes. You also have on your tables, sign up for helping out or being on a committee for the classic. We're gonna make an announcement of location and theme next week. But if you are interested in helping out, please sign up and we'll be in touch with you soon.
Thank you. Let's do some happy dollars. Who's happy out there? Well, I'll start. I'm $20 happy because I'm here and I'm your president today. So how about that? Who wants to follow me?
I am $10 happy because I have Michelle here at the table with me. That's so fabulous. And I only have 2 more weeks of crutch prison and then I will be free.
Can I ask 2 people to please collect for me? Thank you. Thank you.
Plus I have $550 for a $50,000 check.
Yeah.
And Wes and Gary being like the Pony Express together.
That's fair. Who's happy? Wes.
$10 happy dollars, a couple different things, if you'll allow me. First thing is like, we've all probably needed an HVAC technician in our lives to put in a new air conditioner or a new furnace, but it's not often that you needed an HVAC engineer in your life. And I needed an HVAC engineer in my life this week to answer a very difficult question about a client's ventilation system that wasn't venting, and I called on Brian Byrne, who helped me out while he was on a boat in Door County this week. Brian Byrne. $5 also for my friend and colleague Diane Marinelli for stocking my liquor cabinet with a bottle of Eagle Rare this week. So hey.
Thank you. Linda. I have 2 happy dollars. Celebrating my last week before I have to start taking pictures and Tom teaches me what to do with public and try to be a mirror image of the things that he does. It's a favor. $2 happy dollars.
Ellen, did I see your hand up?
I have $5 happy dollars. I was in the privilege, pleasure, and honor naming a golf outing for the SLSF a couple weeks ago. Phenomenal forces, including West Rocket, Team Sleeping, and Run the Road for the open members. That's Rick Maynard. We tied for first place. We had a great time. And shocking to all the people here on the team, she did win closest to the
July?
I spent $10 for it was my first foundation board meeting. Everybody on the board is fantastic. They're doing the right thing by you. I got to tell you from an outsider's point. They're doing everything right. And I want to thank Wes for the second shout out in a matter of 30 seconds. Board is encouraging me to join that board.
I have $10 happy dollars. Since the last time we met, I've given away 2 serviceable cell phones. I give away 1 or 2 a year. People I go beyond the Call of Duty. First one was at the International Convention in Calgary. And then Mark Burchell. He's the founder of Rotary Means Business out of California. Started 20-some years ago. So $5 for some guy running business. Second one was for the 4th of July parade in Arlington Heights. We were sitting there with a bunch of high school kids in front of us, and they're throwing like all kinds of stuff, and they're throwing out stress balls. And this one guy, he had collected 4 stress balls. And they're like when he played with them, and one goes shooting across the street. So this little 10-year-old kid says, "Hey, I got a stress ball." He immediately throws it back to that kid who has a ton of them. I couldn't believe it, so I went to his parents and I asked, can I give him a source of self because I was not expecting a 10-year-old.
Do I have anyone else that's happy? Can I, Jim, Christy?
I'm really happy because, yesterday we sold a rental property.
Hey.
And love compared me then.
Oh, yeah. Jim?
I'm happy dollars because, I and a few other Rotarians were in the audience when, Dean and Cindy Walters made their theatrical debut. For Jersey Boys. Excellent job.
Tom.
Yes, and I am happier since the last time you saw me, I gained a brand new daughter-in-law. We got nice small wedding, beautiful day, beautiful everything. It was amazing. And Eddie is officially engaged and going to be married July 19th of next year.
What a year.
Wow.
Randy?
This is president, I think, raising my.
I just called on you.
We
have a lot of happy-
As a movie.
So who's that?
Invisible.
No, give more money. Oh, there you go.
We have a lot of happy people today.
Kids.
I got $10 happy. The first $5 like my wife and daughter and the boyfriend and myself is the next Vancouver, like the race. Was ready to go there anyway. And the second $5 is because I came through immigration, they didn't even recognize me, so I slept right through.
Stop it.
It was a sick trip.
Is anyone else happy out there? Wes?
Yeah, no, I missed one thing, forgive me, I know I've given about $3 a day.
And actual cash this time.
And actual cash this time, but thanks to Alan for making me cash out the ATM. Doesn't accept Alan Pay.
Oh.
So I got cash today. I just noticed, because Diane helped me out, it's my 10th year in Rotary.
Wow.
10 years in Rotary. I'm still the youngest guy in this room. What the hell is going on here? We need younger people in Rotary. 10 years in Rotary, I love this club so much. I look forward to serving you the rest of my life.
I second that. Hey.
$20 happy dollars that are gonna cover a bunch of stuff. I was very happy, I was very nervous, but I was happy to be in my first production. Wasn't like a main character or anything, but the Jersey Boys actually turned out to be an amazing show. The singers in there were awesome, so thank you to I think Mary saw it twice. She saw it twice but didn't recognize me either one. And then as I think we all remember, I won the Dessert of the Month Club. So Karen brought over Jim's balls to my office. I'll report you. And they were amazing. So anytime I get some desserts, she's awesome.
Oreo when he's gone. Really, was asking to improve.
Yeah.
Was there a little hairs in there?
All right. Let's clean this up, all right?
I'm down on my dog.
We have some important guests in the room today, so let's clean this up.
Gosh, son, wondering why.
I have happy dollars if you're done.
Did he eat the middle before he said?
All right, next one.
And then my daughter was in Shrek Junior, and she just killed it as Dragon, and they're performing tomorrow at the Boomers game. And she's singing God Bless America in the 6th inning. So very proud. As of right now, she's currently in Northbrook filming a commercial that she won the audition on for something called Senior Willie, which is teaching Spanish videos for all the grade schools in the area. They grew up watching on that in the prairie. They watch the videos every day. She actually got chosen to be a dancer and acting in those videos. And then she's auditioning Monday for a play that would be at the Water Tower Place downtown Chicago. wishing her luck in that or break a leg. And then she also got the parts that she wanted in Hadestown. So Hadestown will be first weekend in August. Amazing, you can find never heard of it before when I saw that. Very proud of her. She getting straight A's in her summer school.
He's gonna be signing an autograph. Soon. Okay, Rachel, happy dollars.
Okay, I have $5 happy because Michelle Mussman's gonna start off my year of doing theater, so yeah. You are the first, so thank you for starting us off. And then I talked to Wes, but actually Gillette also has a July birthday. My birthday's tomorrow, and I want the old school birthday song.
Okay, so Rachel, thank you. Do I have any more happy dollars before I make one last announcement and you can enjoy your lunch? Okay, so following Rachel's birthday announcement, we have several this month, so I'm gonna go ahead and just embarrass all of you at once, okay? Rachel, we already got that one, okay? We've got Wes, Gillette, and Jim Elgrum, so we can sing to them a little bit later, or right now. I'm okay. Whatever. We can do this again. Okay, all right, so then let's go on to anniversaries. All right, let's do that. Jim and Bonnie celebrating 62 years. Congratulations. Jim and Karen celebrating 24 years.
Yeah. Hey, look at that.
I hope you guys are buying something very nice for these wonderful ladies. Okay.
Wait, what's the date?
Expensive, that's the date, very expensive. Gary and Shannon, I know Gary's not here, but he's also celebrating 25 years. And Jeff and Michelle, congratulations. Enjoy your lunch.
All right.
You got it though. No. Okay, and then I'm taking Gary's duties. Oh, yeah. I'm Gary's job. I'm not even, I'm a director. You know, they look service. Yeah. Yeah. Now I got $5 ready. Yeah, I put up. I got the QR code. I got the QR code for her. I only have cash because Spirit here for as young as 20 years. Babe, watch my dog. So I had to take cash off for like 20. No, watch. Dog watch. Like my brother, and then I had to watch my brother and then my brother and well, she did like a lot. Like she watered my plants, gave a turtle, dog, and then she got her mail. I guess and benches. Yeah, I do it for those ones, but then like I also have just the thing that we watch other dogs for that one. I watch her dog when she goes and she watches my dog.
I'm not sure. I thought it was outline.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, and back in the day, like, $10 an hour. Yeah. Right, yeah. Yeah.
While your son is starting work.
Yeah, probably. Pretty crazy.
I know.
Wow, yeah, that's right. Where there's a well, there's a well. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. I would do fifteen, I would, yeah. I would clean the house, that's good. My parents were too old for that. Yeah, for suggesting. Yeah, my brother was not. My brother used to run that school. Yeah, like, I didn't, I have vegetarian.
I'll take a chicken. Yes. We don't have a
Give you the leftover.
There's a little dark. So.
Yeah, Right, And you know, I was thinking like $75 on it. And we were very close last time. It's right there. You know, but it's sort of loud. It's appropriate. You know, like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, my one brother's. Oh, yeah. Kind of like. I never went back.
Easy on the way back. I only went to the tailgate with you when I never went in. Like you just didn't. Yeah, you don't hear it.
Trying to tell me that that's allocated.
And I want to be more special.
Now I can see. Now I can see. Cigar and that was, yeah. Plus.
Yeah. Another nice thing. I'm not gonna.
Why not?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I don't know.
I was along the way, like I started. I checked mine. There's like travel back. I look at that. I travel there a lot and I get rainy snow. Sometimes I go to the but when I really find Is it? So my friends are in the team, they hired. Very strong. And if you ever need any, some color at me and I'll follow. I can do it. So we often travel to like go to like like I don't think they have a great cabin. A lot in summer and then in winter. They live in Lexington, so they can show us the wedding lot. And then I have a delay about a half hour. So I get my mom. It's a half hour from no, when I first did my dad, I had no idea why it happened. Yeah, my dad passed away and I heard about my life. So everything in the world is fine. My mom did know it just for her because my dad passed away. She was devastated. I had no idea she was going to really get up and move. Okay, she loves lifting and this is she and everyone fell in love with her. So I love her and know that. That's and if you ever head out that way, it's kind of important when you check this. Central with about an hour.
So being not they're singing falsetto on a stage in very tight jeans.
Okay, who's ready for some fun and frolic? Yeah, Ellen, Gabe, please come on up.
QR code's behind her.
Wow. Maybe that for
You know, Diane is following the footsteps of a lot of our prior presidents who wait until I'm right in the middle of my meal to ask me to come up and do fun and frolic. But so, for all of our guests here, both of you, what we have is fun and frolic, and what we do is we kind of joke around and kibitz and have a lot of fun, and Alina, we collect a little money to help do the things like give Alina $55,000 check. Hopefully, we can raise that amount today. Wes, am I interrupting you?
Sorry.
So I need a couple of people to collect some money, and you also can pay through these squiggly things over here.
Yeah, up on the screen, and then there's one right here. So
The board here, the Vanna is holding for everybody. So Shay, I think it's great that you're taking over the Marriott timeshare event, but we have a rule in our club that you don't use the term that begins with R, because it's illegal to have a raffle that goes on the internet and people sell things online. So yeah, we're working on it. So I'm not gonna fine you for that because you didn't know, but Holly's gonna pay $2 on your behalf. So I was very heartwarming to hear about the birthdays and the anniversaries, except I was very distraught that Jim and Bonnie and Jeff and Jim Fabrini didn't pay happy dollars for these wonderful occasions that are coming up. So each of you should pay
$2 for, dissing your spouses. Now, Bonnie and Jim, you guys can pay $2 collectively. I'm not gonna find each of you, or both of you. Happy anniversary. If you don't have a guest at your table, that'll be $2. As I said during Happy Dollars, there was the SLSF golf outing, of which we were co-sponsors. If you did not attend that event or were not a sponsor to that event, that'll be $2. Vince, I'm glad you're standing. I want everybody to take a look at Vince's shirt. Randy, do you want to tell the club what you said about his shirt? Oh, yes.
You're gonna be fine anyway,
Yeah.
so.
Well,
He doesn't like my shirt.
Did I say that?
A pass, what? I said it looks like a wallpaper in the afternoon. If you close your eyes in the black light, there's a tiger shade in the background.
Well, I'm glad my shirt is successful.
Okay, if you're not attending the garden cleanup, that'll be $2. If you're not gonna be on the roadside cleanup, that'll be $2. Now, anybody here who was the Grand Marshal of the Hoffman Estates Village, 4th of July parade, would you please stand up? Ladies and gentlemen, the Grand Marshal, Jim Fabrini. So everybody who is not a Grand Marshal pay $2. Yeah, you just have to have parents who started a business a long time ago. If you're not wearing Rotary attire, you should be ashamed of yourself. That'll be $2. So Randy, a number of us were a little confused about what you said about your trip. We couldn't figure out if it was your wife's boyfriend or your daughter's boyfriend who went along with you. Could you clarify that for us?
I don't know if I can.
Okay, good. That would be $2. Oh, okay. Hey, it's in the gutter where everybody else is. Was seen by the Oreo comment earlier. So everybody who made a comment or their minds went to the gutter on the Oreo comment, remember, is it the truth? That'll be $2. So Jane, when are you going to retire to manage your daughter's, Jane Walters? We have 3 Janes in the club. When are you going to retire to manage your daughter's career? Okay.
10 years from now. I have $5. She's starring in a movie with Tom Cruise.
You laugh, but for those of you who don't know, Jane's daughter did star in a movie starring Angela Davis and Liam Neeson and Viola Davis. Yeah, it's called Widows. Chris and I saw it, and she was the best part of the movie. So Gene, you can pay $5 because pretty soon you're just gonna be rolling in the money. So I'm going to ask this question of Jim Fabrini, Jeff Miller, and Roger Smith, who are fellow fine masters. Do we normally find? Yes.
But we make exceptions though.
Yes. And as I said that, Michelle is reaching for her wallet. Michelle, you were cringing during our rendition of Happy Birthday. For those in the back, she goes, that was bad. So we were successful. So how much are you going to donate?
I have $5. I heard all of that. Yeah.
Now, we didn't have meetings the last couple of weeks because of the holiday and some other things. Did anybody show up to a meeting when we didn't have one in the last month? Come on, yeah, is it true? Huh?
Yes.
Well, that does happen. Okay, everybody, Tom, congratulations on your 18 sons all getting married. And if anybody here not being fined yet? Well, I guess I did my job. Everybody have a great day.
Nice job, Alan.
I didn't know.
I did. I found out.
It's all right.
Wait a minute, everybody, let's go, nothing to do with the football game.
We actually did it. No, thank you. All right, people, sorry, I probably should have done that.
Without further ado.
Yeah, without further ado, let's just bring her up. There's real no introduction. If you don't know her, you live under a rock. So, Michelle Mussman. Thank you. So, I realized I brought all this stuff and then my folder fell out and fell all over the place earlier, so it's all out of order. It's a very slippery podium, in my defense. Hi, everybody. So I'm Michelle Mussman. I'm a state representative for this area. I've been a state representative for a number of years. I've had the privilege to talk to your organization previously. I'm very glad to be back again. I am here to talk about whatever you would like to talk about. I always want to make sure that I'm not droning on about things that are not interesting to you. So if you would like to stop and ask me questions about what's going on in your state government, I am very happy to oblige and do the best I can to answer spur of the moment what you might come up with. So, yep.
Yeah, so I read an article in the Daily
Wow.
Herald.
Damn.
That the food pantries are worried. What should they be? And we actually fund some of those. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think that they should be worried. I think that many of the changes coming from the federal government will sort of happen in stages. And I think everybody's sort of hoping that before it really gets bad, somebody will come in and change that and make it not happen when they figure out how bad it might be. They seem to be shifting a lot of responsibility for funding social services back to the states. The states really don't have the capacity to manage that or absorb that. If you really do want the states to do this, this is going to be an added thing that we are not currently doing now. We will need more money to do that. So you will have to see us continue to change our taxes to bring in money to pay for things that the federal government used to pay for. I think that there is also this, I think in a number of ways, actually, I don't really know what they're thinking. I don't know if they're thinking lots of people relying on the pantry right now are immigrants, and if we get rid of all the immigrants, we won't need as many food pantries. I think there is an element of if people realize they don't have the food pantries to rely on, that they will work harder to be self-sufficient, and then they just will be self-sufficient and they won't need the pantries, and it will be a problem that solves itself. I think that you have a belief that if they lower taxes in other ways, that people will have more money in their pocket and they will just be philanthropic and give their money to food pantries, and therefore the food pantries won't miss the money they're no longer getting from the federal government. I'm not really sure the rationale for that, but that's what we're looking at. Right now, the state just does not have the financial capacity to make up the difference, and if we're going to need to change our taxes. Our state is already struggling with a structural deficit, right? So I know that it feels like the state is constantly spending more money on all sorts of things and we just can't control ourselves. But if you really look at the last number of years of our budget, the majority of the growth is driven by pensions. And remember, we're on the pension wrap that was created back under the Edgar administration, which said until 2045, the state will contribute more to the pensions every single year. And that's what we're doing. And then the other place that you're seeing growth is education. Education has a really great return on investment, and also education is the biggest thing in your property tax bill. Everyone's upset about their property tax bill. If you're ever going to try and moderate the growth of your property tax bill, you need the state to continue to be the predominant payer. So it makes sense that that's where you're seeing a lot of growth. So the other thing that we should talk about as we talk about state finances is transit. I'm sure that you've heard in the news that there is a transit cliff coming, right? we are in an area, especially in the Chicagoland area, where we rely very heavily on a good public transit system. It's very important to our businesses, to our people, to our elderly, and to our disabled. The federal government, after COVID, had been giving us lots of money to support transit because the ridership is still not quite back where it had been, right? You still have a lot of people that are not moving around as much as they used to. You still have a lot of people that are working from home part-time, even if they've started going back to the office to a certain degree. That federal money is scheduled to run out January 1st. And so if we lose that federal money, in order to replace it, in order to replace the federal money and just have the system we have now, which we can all agree is not a great system, is $750 million more that the state doesn't currently have. If we want to actually revolutionize this system and make it work properly and make it work together, like you see in other world-class cities, that's a ticket of about $1.5 billion that we don't currently have. So this is a problem that we are looking to deal with alongside anything else the federal government is about to throw at us. So we're already deep in discussion about how do we bring in the revenue to do this without overburdening all of the residents. And so, yep, Will?
Thank you, Peter, Representative Buster. The thing that you said about the transit, that's in the news, and I feel like a lot of us have known about that. I was wondering from your experience recently in Springfield, where you're at, tell us what we should know about what's going on in Springfield right now that we haven't already heard. What should we know about that isn't in the news right now that's coming your way that you feel like should be top of all of our minds?
It's a good question. Most of the stuff that we are working on, especially if it's likely to have a financial impact, you're going to be hearing about that in the news. Obviously, Medicaid is the biggest thing that we've got going on. Medicaid is the biggest part of the state budget. So again, as the federal government continues to tinker or make changes, we are petrified. I mean, that's something to the tune of $38 billion. That's not a thing we can make up. Even if you look at if we were to implement the graduated income tax we had talked about before, that's $3.5 billion. That's not $38 billion. I mean, that's not a thing that we've really got. The pensions are still out there, right? That's a thing that I think hasn't gotten a lot of attention in the news lately. But remember, our tier 2 pension is very low. And it actually, according to the eyes of the federal government, needs to be at least comparable to Social Security. We're really flirting with not really being comparable to Social Security. It behooves us to get ahead of this. And so there are talks about how we can rebalance that system a little bit and make it a little bit better for our employees without without being overly burdensome to the finances of the state. We have some bonds that are coming due, and we believe that we could just kind of transfer that, pay off the bond, but transfer that money sort of forward going to help rebalance it in a cost neutral way. I think that's out there, and a lot of people haven't really been hearing about that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you share from a logical point?
Oh,
Sorry.
look at that.
I'm supposed to say that to you. Oh, sorry. From a logical point, as more, realistic and possible. What is what are the compelling reasons to enable the federal government to get rid of Medicaid? For example,
The federal government cutting Medicaid. I really don't know. Again, I think that you have a lot of people who have this belief that if people believe that there is a backstop that is there to help them, that they will become lazy and careless with their own well-being, right? It is perhaps a thought that I've heard some people discuss, right? And that if they realize there isn't help coming, then they will be more likely to take better care of themselves, right? To eat better, to exercise better, to just take care of that. Maybe that's a possibility. I don't know if they think I will save lots of money and the American people will think that I'm the best person ever, the best president ever. Look at how I lowered all of these costs. But really, I would say the costs aren't going to be lowered in a lot of ways. I think it's a question of how you're able to quantify it, right? When people don't get the health care they need when they need it, they migrate to more expensive situations, and maybe it will exacerbate an early death and they will go away. That's a sad way to look at things. But if you're looking to save money, that's where the money, I mean, Medicaid is probably one of the most expensive things that exists within the federal government or state government. People just need a lot of care, and it's very expensive at the end of the day. Even when you look at the fact that we basically pay we pay we don't even pay what it actually costs to provide the service. We pay maybe I want to say a third to a half of the actual cost of providing any service. And then you look at people with disabilities or people who are elderly that are completely dependent upon Medicaid and that are living in various kinds of residential facilities. What would you like them to be like? Where would you like to live? Where would you like your mom to live, right? So what are you willing to pay for, right? Nobody wants to pay a lot in taxes and nobody trusts other people to spend their money well. But also, if you were reliant on this system, what would you want it to look like? Again, if they are able to lower the burden at the federal level and raise the burden at the state level, well, the federal government sure looks sweet, right? And then your state government ultimately looks incompetent. And I don't know if that's the goal, but again, I don't see a really good end place. If you're relying on Medicaid, your life is not in a good place. And so if your government isn't there to help you, if you've been a good taxpayer, you've been a good citizen, and you've paid in all your life, or you were born in a way that you couldn't pay in, or you had an accident that you didn't plan for and you didn't pay in, I guess the question is, who are we as a society and what are we willing to do with each other? And there are going to be many people that don't feel worthy of our love and attention of money, right? And that's a thing that we talk about. People with addiction, right? People with addiction have a disease. They will have this disease for their entire life. It is not a moral failing. It is a disease that they will struggle with eternally. Because I had a person ask me the other day, well, Narcan, why is that free? And why do you get to have it more than once? If I give you Narcan and I send you to treatment, that should be the end of it. But that's not how addiction works. And so, again, is it a reconciling of how we feel about each other in society? I think that's a legitimate question.
So, I haven't had a chance to take any classes to get the details of this, but the last person who really cut Medicare funding was President Clinton. And Clinton did it as part of just balancing the budget, but then that slipped away. So I haven't had a chance to compare the new things, because the press really jumps all over this.
Yeah.
I compare it to what Clinton did back when he was president. So some of this was tried and passed successfully. I just don't know how close we are to that, and we should look into that.
And that's true. And I don't happen to know that either, right? And yes, some of this restructuring may have very good benefits. I think some things may not, and I don't know that all things were done with a very critical eye.
One of the things I saw is that to be on Medicare, you have to take so many hours of classes. To this, you either have to be attempting to work, or spending so much time attempting to work, or taking classes. So if someone who's a student who doesn't have it will be covered if they're taking classes. They know in a couple of years they will.
You're talking about Medicaid.
Right.
Not Medicare.
So you're right.
So one of the things that he's talking about is what's called an ABOD, an able-bodied adult, right? So in the grand universe of things, that seems reasonable. If you are what on paper would be considered an able-bodied adult, then you should be able to demonstrate that you are working, volunteering, or receiving education toward working in order to be able to receive benefits, that you're not just on your home, at home, in your pajamas, eating Cheetos, and the rest of us are paying for you to get SNAP benefits, right? On paper, that makes sense. What I will tell you is, in the real world, people are just a whole lot more messy than that, right? You have many people who stepped out of the workforce sort of accidentally or temporarily, and then it ended up getting away from them. Maybe they stepped out to take care of an ailing child, an ailing parent, an ailing spouse. Maybe they're dealing with addiction, so they're trying to go to work, but then they relapse, and then they're out of a job for a while, or they have an illness that they don't have insurance to cover, or especially if they have an invisible illness like a mental health problem or depression, it can take a decade to have a mental health problem properly diagnosed, much less do you even have the insurance that would allow you to see a doctor and get a prescription and have regular care that would keep you stable and allow you to go to work. Because that's one of the insidious things about having a mental health problem is you don't think you have a mental health problem, and then you're not consistent about seeing the doctor or taking your medication, which can cause you to relapse. And it's a constant struggle. Or again, you may have an invisible disability, or also you may have a court record. You got a DUI, you ever had a misdemeanor? Is there anything that makes somebody not want to hire you? If you've got a spotty job record, you may want to work, but it doesn't mean that you as an employer want to hire that person. Have a transportation problem? You don't have your own car. Transportation around here is sure unreliable. Not a lot of public buses and trains that are going to get you there on time. And if you took a train to the Schaumburg train station, which you worked over here at one of the hotels, how do you get from the train to the hotel and on time? Now you're an unreliable employee who might be let go. Again, it gets a little bit spotty. And if I take away the support that allows you to get medical care, food, and housing, your ability to stay focused on getting a job is very greatly diminished. So we're not helping you get back on your feet by taking away those supports. And I'll tell you, if you're homeless, it's even harder to get out of that. It's even harder to find healthcare. It's even harder to find food. It's even harder to find housing. It's even harder to get a job. Can you employ a person that doesn't have an address and you're not sure can regularly shower or wash their clothes? It's a very complicated problem.
So Shetty being taken to safety net, what is the state legislature doing specifically the single mothers and from having their SNAP benefits cut, because they're also going to be part of this? And like you said, the situation arises and a single mother, you have to stop working to raise that kid. You can't send them to daycare, which in Schaumburg, the average cost of daycare is $12 in Schaumburg. I'm sure all in a special program, and it takes 6 months to get into that. I have coworkers here in Schaumburg that one just got into that program for their kid, and now gets to pay but it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But given single mom here in Schaumburg, it could really affect them. What are you guys doing? Maybe kind of head that off, or that maybe that specific group, or what could we do as a club to help support the
Oh, that's a great question. I would say you want to look at, oh shoot, it was Children's Home and Aid, and they just rebranded themselves to Brightpoint. Brightpoint is out on the corner basically of Schaumburg and Plum Grove. That's a daycare facility that generally assists families, especially if they're receiving state aid to help pay for a childcare. They're really great. And Advanced Preschool is also a program that's running out of Hoffman Estates. They're doing amazing work. Anything you can do to support at that organization, I would encourage you to do also. The state in our budget did set aside about $125 million as kind of an emergency slush fund to help us maybe react in the short term to anything that's happening. But honestly, $125 million is truthfully a drop in the bucket when you look at the tidal wave of need that's coming at us. We have over the last many years tried to do a number of things that we did feel were important for especially single mothers, raising the minimum wage, making sure that you get paid time off, more accountability for accommodations if you're pregnant or nursing. There's a lot of things like that. And it's been a struggle. There are a lot of businesses that are saying, boy, this is really hard on us to be able to make these accommodations for our employees. It's a big expense for us. And yet, on the other side, if you are a single mom, and also, let's be really honest, we've also done things to equalize pay, right? So you have to have more transparency in the pay that you're offering, and you have to be able to demonstrate that it is more equal. It used to be that a man and a woman would not be paid the same wage, even if they had the same job, just because you could get away with it. And because you could say, well, the woman might be pregnant, or the woman might not be willing to work overtime because she's got to go home and take care of the kid. Or if the kid gets sick, she's probably the one who's not coming to work. So I don't have a high quality employee. It makes sense I wouldn't pay her as much. And so it's been an issue. And again, we've been working really hard to rebalance that. And so it's been a bit of a struggle for what are you doing to lift people up versus how hard are you making things on our small businesses? And that's been difficult for us.
Sorry, I'm actually a business maker, and that argument that small businesses sometimes make that it's not affordable for them, it's not true. Because I see their financials all the time.
Thank you for sharing.
So, Michelle, thanks for being here. I just want to mention, have both relationships.
Good.
There. They nominated and awarded their children's advocate of the year.
The Children's Advocacy Center does very, very great and very, very important work, but it is very different than the work that would be there to uplift and stabilize our working parents. Yeah.
Just looking at the other side of the ledger, since the introduction of US tariffs to other countries, has there been any repercussion on Illinois business with reciprocal tariffs, or just the unwillingness of other countries to deal with what we're actually making money doing? Are we losing money on the production side of it?
I don't have an answer for that today. I think it's a little bit too soon for us to tell. And admittedly, that was not a report that I got any information on before we had left Springfield. I think that we were all kind of holding our breath and waiting to see, especially because, often the president would say there was going to be a tariff, then he'd say that there was not going to be a tariff, everything would go on hold, and it's been so rocky.
Since April 8th.
But I have not. I would say some of that might be available if you read if you go to the DCEO website, they have a lot of reports that are out there. I did not receive a briefing. I don't know that I want to tell you something.
In Illinois on the intake side, as well as, getting more and more difficult on the other.
Yep, I agree. I think you were reading.
My question was relative to unemployment in the state. I've talked to different businesses regularly and friends, and they have trouble getting employees. So where do we stand right now with what is our level of unemployment, and do we have any? Seems like we don't have a pool of people coming up as we have so many people retiring. It seems like there's this imbalance, and I'm just wondering what's the state level of unemployment now, and what are you hearing about the future of it?
I think the state level is slightly above the national average, but it's been pretty steady. I would say we've got a lot of kids that are graduating and looking for jobs. I'm not quite sure what the mismatch is in people that are looking and people that are actively getting hired. I think some of it too is a bit of a job satisfaction situation. And I think that you have kids that are not staying in jobs that they don't enjoy. I think you're seeing people get hired, but then often let go. I know that a lot of them are saying that a lot of the jobs that they're seeing advertised on LinkedIn and other places, they're not real jobs, that companies will advertise jobs, but then they're not really there when you want to apply for them, or they'll say, oh, well, that job isn't available, but how about this other job that has really crummier hours and even less pay? Wouldn't you like to work in this job instead? And so I think that there's a bit of distrust on both sides, where I think people feel that the advertisement for the job has been disingenuous, or again, they get in the job and they're asked to do all of these things that weren't really part of the original job. And so that's been a little bit, I think, difficult. I will also say, I think the electronics have been a problem. Everybody wants to use, I think, AI and whatnot to accept and read the resumes and everything now. And I think a lot of them are just getting kicked out for errors and things typos or whatnot. And you also have a lot of older employees that are out of the job market and they want to go back to work, and they are just wretched at filling out online applications. So unless your company is willing to accept some old school paper applications, I think, again, you're missing out on some really good opportunities there. we're here to help. I mean, you know, there are lots of programs that are meant to try and connect employers to employees. And if you're having trouble, contact us and we'll see if there's anything that we can do. But I know that's been a problem.
Is it up or down? Over the last couple of years, is the percentage up or down in our state?
I think we've been pretty stable. We have a pretty diversified workforce when you really look at, you know, our tech industry and our biotech industry and our hotels and, you know, a little bit of everything. Some states are very heavy, like only in the energy sector or only in certain types, but we're fairly well diversified. Again, I think we're a little above the average, but pretty stable.
This might be a good.
Last question.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
You
sorry.
didn't ask one yet.
Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, you know, we interview fresh outs all the time. And I've been hiring people for many, many years, decades. Fresh outs, they'll sit in the initial interview and ask what promotion schedule is like. They'll ask about, do they have to work full days every day?
Yep.
They'll ask about what's the wage schedule look like, and this isn't, I mean, it's not a
Nope.
joke for them.
Mhm.
So there's a little different mentality between the people that are hiring.
Yep.
And we don't hire illegal immigrants in our place either. So that work pool, you know, the argument about that work pool is gonna be, it doesn't matter to me because I don't hire illegal immigrants. And then the younger people, you know, so I wonder if our universities, because I've actually had some candidates come to me from some of the art schools in the area.
Yeah.
And I call back, like, I don't know what you're doing to prepare these people because they come in with expectations that are, you know, and I think sometimes something can be done there, you know, so it's kind of that push and pull, you know, the pool of people that need work, and then do those people go on Medicaid because they don't know how to interview, or they have expectations that their parents gave them, telling them, you know, this goes on. So.
Jeff, don't you want to offer a signing bonus?
Yeah, I will tell you, it is a very legitimate problem. Young people, I think, are entering the market with a very different expectation of what their work-life balance should be. And I don't know if it's because they saw their parents, you know, really struggle for a long time, be let go unexpectedly, work lots of overtime, work a lot of low hours, you know, not have a buffer, not have health insurance. You know, I mean, we know that people really have had, in a lot of instances, really bad work experiences. They really, you know, they didn't have good work-life balance, and they didn't spend time with their family, and they you know, there are a lot of problems with, I think, our old work ethic. And I think that pendulum has swung too far, and I'm hoping it will come back again. I will tell you, the state is having a similar problem with the new hires. I think it's just the new thing, and I don't know how to explain it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much for.
I mean, I would agree that I had zero work-life balance until I met Mahogany Builders. So thank you, baby. I had so much. All right. Four-way test. I think it's only appropriate that Gal leads us in the four-way test.
Fine man, we have a long memory.
Yes, please, yes. Four-way test. Is it true?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Will the bill come well and relationships? Will be beneficial to all concerned?
Way to go, Diane!
Till the next time, guys.
Yeah, two down and she's yeah. I could have done it without a hold of you. Just trying to.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll